Hi, welcome to Green TV, the show dedicated to green, New Deal positive solutions and the candidates that advocate for them. I'm Gail Parker, your host for today, and later on we have Joe Oddo, who is the chairman of the Independent Green Party. Green TV is about Green New Deal, eco-jobs for the economy, positive solutions, eco-capitalism, prices must tell the environmental truth. Green TV is about the industrial revolution, solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs, rail jobs, weatherization jobs, efficiency jobs. It's about lots of jobs, new jobs. It's about building green neighborhoods, walkable, bikeable, pedestrian, and rail-friendly communities. It's about having cleaner air and cleaner water. It's about cutting subsidies, taxpayer subsidies, to zero for fossil fuel, big oil, big auto, and big asphalt. Rail built anywhere in America benefits all of America, and rail can use renewable energy. Renewable energy is free energy, it's clean energy. So on today's show today, we're going to be focusing on the Independent Green Party. We have had the Libertarian Party on, we've had the Constitution Party on, a member of the Green Party on, and today we're talking with Joe Oddo, who is the chairman of the Independent Green Party of Virginia. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, Gail.
Hi.
Great to be here.
Nice
Thanks.
to be here, yes. And interest of full disclosure, we've been affiliated for what, about 15 years now?
Absolutely.
Right, right.
Seems like yesterday.
It, yeah, well, maybe a couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Right. But, Joe, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, about your background, and how you happen to be affiliated with Independent Green Party and what you do with the Independent Green Party.
Well, that's a party we started back in 2002, perhaps, because when we decided to run people for office, we had other parties we looked at to be part of, and the Greens were one of them. And they just didn't understand. I mean, we kind of got into a disagreement thinking, yes, we got to run candidates for public office. That's what political parties do, right?
To grow the party.
And they were more of a think tank. So we were like, wait a minute, you want to get into meetings, talk, but not take action? We're thinking we should probably put some candidates on the ballot, get endorsements. They wouldn't even endorse me. Even I wasn't green enough for them, apparently. So they were faction of us that said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and proceed with our plan to run for public office. So we broke away and started the Independent Greens. They were not very happy that we used their name, but you know, we did since then put dozens, literally dozens of candidates on the ballot while they continued their thinking, you know. So not to rub it in, I mean, we all think this alike very much. I liked your intro, the fact that we do need solar, wind, geothermal jobs. I mean, right now, there are more solar jobs in the country. Right now, in the country, more jobs created by the solar industry than the fossil fuel industry. So the public needs to wake up and not think that, oh my God, I got to run a pipeline across the country because it'll create jobs. No, you run rooftops, cover them with solar and create jobs. You know, it's so much more efficient. So it's a shame that the resources are being wasted, and you know, current administrations, current people that run the state houses, they are just not on board with us. So we got to keep advocating. It's the main driving force for why people like me and the group of our group, the Independent Greens, keep pushing to make sure that we have a voice. And one of the ways to have a voice is to get on the ballot. We encourage people watching today to get on the ballot, run for office. And if you can't run, just stand for office. I mean, there are times when our candidate will go out, get the signatures, be on the ballot, and not be able to make all the debates or even get in the press much, but at least you're standing on the ballot, giving the consumers, the voter, an alternative. Because oftentimes, the incumbents run unopposed. 50%, Gail. Run unopposed, as you well know.
Oh, right. Right. Well, tell us now, the Independent Green Party, is the Independent Green Party affiliated with the National Green Party?
No, we may have asked for that at one point or another, but because they have an existing green entity in this in this state, then they didn't accept our request for affiliation. But these are just archaic institutional rules that, unfortunately, a party like this that should be growing and vibrant and adding, we don't really agree with the national way that they run things, and they seem to us that they run more people off than they bring in. So, we criticize them for that by trying to encourage them. We try to say, look, please run for office, accept all groups that may not pass your litmus test. They have a lot more rigid 10-point platform. Our platform was very simple. We used 12 words. More trains, less traffic. More candidates, less apathy. Socially responsible, fiscally conservative. Because we don't believe in big government, which may be a disagreement that the other Greens have. They may believe the government can fix things. We're not quite on that page. We probably lean more towards the libertarians in that regard. We want people to be part of the solution. Private industry partnerships with the government, yes, but not necessarily the government leading the way. So that's one of the main differences with us.
So it is true that the Independent Green Party is an official Green Party in Virginia, and they're not affiliated with the Green Party, so they're really a group of independents. Is that a correct characterization?
Well, yeah, and we have people that run under our IG label. They can choose either the I or the IG. So sometimes people will be endorsed by us, even though they may not carry our nomination credentials per se, which is really just another step in the process of trying to wrest control back from the one large party that has an R and D next to their name. Mm-hmm. They press into the independents so hard and make things so difficult that they make sure that they're the only entity on the ballot that's got legitimate ballot status, as it were. So that means, for instance, in this state, if we were to run a candidate statewide, we'd have to get 10% of the vote to qualify to do what they do, and that is submit a name to be nominated to run for the state house. Right now, or the governorship or any statewide candidate office. Right now, all they have to do is submit a name. Here's the name of the person we want to run for statewide, and what we have to do, go out and get 10,000 petition signatures, which is a monster. It is.
It's very difficult to do that. So there is a trend in other states, though, to lower the ballot access in those states. So do you foresee Virginia lowering the ballot access requirement for statewide offices? They have lowered it for the presidential race. How about for the statewide?
It was very clever how they did that. Only for the presidential. So we have members of the General Assembly that we've pressed to try to get them to carry the bill for us to lower it, and they just won't do it because why? They're part of the establishment, the R or the D, and their rules dictate that they don't give the independents a crack in the door. They don't crack that door open because they fear what the independents have to say. I've had candidates, opponents tell me that. In the '06, when I was running against an incumbent congressman, the big party opponent said something like, when they excluded me from a debate, he says, well, I don't think there's anything that independent has to say that you want to hear. And the crowd actually booed him, and that got published in the press. And from that debate on, I got in all the rest of them. So those mistakes sometimes they make, and sometimes we get lucky. We pass the audition, they let us in the debates. But most often, no, they usually block us. They usually put up roadblocks to allow independents to participate.
The Independent Green Party has taken on some pretty big names in races across Virginia.
Oh yeah, well, Gail Parker, for instance, took one on when she took on the sitting incumbent who we tossed out of office, right, back in '06. That was amazing, Gail. We still value that effort.
So I got the credit for it.
Yeah, and Colbert even recognized you for that. So that was awesome. And so, yeah, we don't shy back down from anybody. I'll run against any incumbent any day. It's my pleasure to do so, because I'll tell you what, folks, if you run for office and you get a chance to take an incumbent on in a debate, you'd be amazed that they're not always on their game. That's not always their comfort zone. You get them out of their comfort zone and you get a debate going with them, you can make the 200 people in the room see your position and thank you for your activity. That's the key.
In the past, the Independent Green Party and the independent candidates have had difficulty in raising funds. Joe, do you foresee that the public will be more receptive to contributing money to an independent candidate?
Very interesting question, Gail. You know, the sad part about the way they've created such a stacked deck, because even the incumbent president said things are rigged. Well, he was right. Things are rigged. Oh, yeah. Rigged against us in a big way. And a lot of it is the money that they have, the landslide of money their way. So it could very well be that the circumstances that are in place today may make it more appealing for people to find a good independent or alternative source to channel their dollars. But the hard thing for us is we're not as prepared to do it professionally and to go out and make the asks, because that's a really hard thing. Not a lot of candidates have a comfort zone where they are good at raising money or asking for it or selling themselves or pressing the flesh with the crowds. I mean, there's so much involved, you know, when it comes to that. I mean, and the technology. I mean, the big party has a lock on the technology. They can afford all the heavy-duty software. So we're really behind the curve on that. I mean, but I think there is a chance if we get a good independent candidate that can seed themselves a little bit, maybe even 50 grand for statewide. Just start there to get on the ballot. That would be a good start, because then from there you can get a little bit of a snowball effect and get people to support you. So yeah, you know, you got to turn into one of the big party money appealers, unfortunately.
And the Libertarian Party put out an appeal for funding while they were on our show. Does the Independent Green Party accept donations? Are they?
Oh, you can do that on this public radio, public television show. I'm not sure how that goes. Of course, we'll take you know, any contributions to the Rail Now PAC. Would be a great place to put the money, because it's not a political party per se, but we would use the funds to advocate for rail, which is one of our main issues. I mean, especially considering if we had a statewide candidate right now, what would we be advocating for, Gail? As you well know, we'd be advocating for that high-speed rail to connect from North Carolina to D.C., from Roanoke to Virginia Beach across the state. So those are issues why we should keep alive on the table and challenge the General Assembly, who's only getting paid by the oil, auto, asphalt industries on their bank coffers, right? So to counter that, it would be great to have some people, you know, throw us a few dimes. Bring it on.
And speaking of rail, we do have a video about a new rail line that combines rail and snow, since we haven't had a lot of snow in this area this year. So if we could have the video now.
Weekend warriors, winter is calling, and now it's even easier to get to the slopes. It's a Colorado tradition that dates back to 1912, put on pause for 7 years, and now it's back, and it's better than ever. This winter, Denver Union Station summons skiers and snowboarders and travelers like me. I'm Traveling Jules, and today I'm leaving the city for the slopes. Choo-choo! All aboard! Tight squeeze. And this train is getting fresh tracks the whole way. The Winter Park Express ski train is a direct link to the mountains. It's a 2-hour ride that promises beautiful scenery for 500 passengers in a traffic-free zone. One-way tickets are available Saturdays and Sundays, and some holidays, so you can make it a day trip or a weekend excursion. I'm really surprised at how smooth the train is. And it's so nice not to focus on the road. I don't miss I-70 one bit.
Here's something kind of cool. There's actually a locomotive on both ends of the train.
So on the way back, we'll go in reverse. A few tips for the ride: pack a snack and your chargers so your devices stay powered up. And when it's time to suit up, stretch out and enjoy the legroom.
So you can actually leave your stuff here. You're not gonna have access to it, but you can leave your stuff here.
The end of the line is on the other side of the Moffett Tunnel, underneath the Continental Divide.
I thought we were going so much faster.
We're here.
We are literally right at the slope, so we're just gonna step off and ride onto the chairlift.
Thank you. We made it. Here's my board. I found you. This is Winter Park. You couldn't get any closer. You really couldn't. There you go. Have fun. Thank you. Got my ticket. Got my stuff. Got my snowboard. Ready to ride.
Winter Park is Colorado's 4th largest ski resort with 3,000 skiable acres, surrounded by snow-capped peaks in the distance. There's terrain for all levels of skiers and boarders, and plenty to keep you busy before you head back to Denver.
What a view, huh?
Tell you what, this is one train you don't want to miss.
You're watching Green TV. Today, the show is dedicated to featuring Joe Oddo with the Independent Green Party. And we've just seen a video that combines rail, trains, and snow.
That was fun. Hop off the train and right on the lift. That's awesome. I want to do that.
Yeah, well, you know, as I understand it, it's a flight to Denver and then an overnight stay in Denver. And you hop on the train and you go to the ski slopes, cool. And then it'll bring you back.
Right.
So it's a great thing. You know, I have noticed rail is one of the signature issues with the Independent Green Party. And I have noticed that the tourism industry is one of the first ones to pick up and back the trains. California High-Speed Rail, there's a lot of tourism in California and Colorado with the ski slopes and avoiding all of that snarling on I-70 and getting to the ski slopes. So we need more trains in this area. Don't you think so, Joe?
Well, that's why we advocate for the rail here in Virginia, the high-speed rail, because people can get faster from one corner of the state to the northern Virginia faster on a train than they could on a plane if we had an actual system like that. So, yeah, the tourism would boom. I mean, people could go all over the state, see some great historic sites, you know, hit off the beaten path places. You know, it'd be a boon for tourism, among other things.
Right, right. And I believe that we are scheduled to get a new rail service to Roanoke soon.
Well, thanks to your efforts, Gail, we managed to get, of course, that open train to Charlottesville down to Lynchburg. That one goes all the way to New York nonstop now. And there were many people involved in that one. Meredith Richards in Charlottesville and a team there. But, you know, we did our part as Independent Greens by having Gail on the ballot statewide, advocating for rail and keeping that issue hot. And so that we finally got it through the Assembly to get the rail to Lynchburg to New York nonstop. Then Amtrak expanded to Norfolk. And now, this coming year, it's going to expand to Roanoke. And I think Virginia Beach then will be beyond that. So there are some improvements, some wins, some victories that we do make when we advocate and keep that issue hot. And the beauty of keeping on an issue like that is not just that you get a few wins, but you keep it hot enough to counter the oil, auto, asphalt lobby that we talked about before, because those guys rule. I mean, look how Dominion right now in the General Assembly has dictated the terms of the pipeline coming through Nelson County and a few other western counties that there's really local protest on, but because they have the power in the General Assembly, they can ram it through. It's really sad to see sometimes.
Well, that's why we need more candidates on the ballot to advocate for renewable energy and for rail and for more candidates as well. Exactly,
and some of the issues you mentioned earlier, solar is not just, you know, a good, clean source. It has gotten so much more efficient over the years. Now you can put solar panels or shingles, on your roof. So you can generate power, you can store it in batteries, or you can sell it back to the grid. There's so many ways to go now. There's geothermal. You can heat your house a lot more efficiently, your water, and what's the other? Wind. We see more turbines popping up. And they don't have to be these giant mega turbines that you see. You can put up a nice little unit in your house, maybe about 100 feet up in your yard, you know, and generate amazing amount of power, even at night.
See, those huge turbines are absolutely beautiful, though. They have them as far as the eye can see in Oklahoma when I've gone back to visit Oklahoma.
Exactly, and there's countries that have been generated so much power from those that they've basically shut down the fossil fuel industry, like in the northern Scandinavian countries and in parts of Germany. They have so much solar farm activity that there's thousands of cities now that have more alternate energy source than they do fossil fuel source.
Which is good for everybody. It's good for the environment. It's cleaner air, cleaner water.
Yeah.
So what is on tap for the Independent Green Party? What are you all doing, and what do you have planned for the future, Joe?
Well, recruiting candidates is always the thing. So if you're watching, please contact us at votejoinrun.us. Check out our website. We got some good videos on there of people that have taken the plunge and become candidates. It really doesn't cost you time or money, but if you want to put in time or money, you are welcome to. You know, you can get on the ballot with just 125 signatures for the House of Delegates. Again, this is a very important position because 50% of them run unopposed. And then there's state senate that will be up in 2 more years. So this year, it's an odd year election year, but Virginia does have all 100 members of the General Assembly up for election. There's numerous state supervisors, board of supervisors in counties, school boards that are up for election this year. And I'm going to probably be a candidate. You'll probably be a candidate again, I suspect. 10 straight years already, right, Gail? So, yeah, I mean, we're going to keep on pushing. That's all we can do.
Yes. Well, we have several choices for the viewers to join a party. And the Independent Green Party fills a very specific niche. It's not liberal, it's rather conservative, yet it picks up some liberal issues like renewable energy and rail. What services does the Green Party, Independent Green Party, offer to the candidates? Do you advise the candidates on what they should be doing, or?
Well, actually, it's just whatever level people feel comfortable and oh yeah, we've run campaigns from beginning to end, from top to bottom. From you want to get into fundraising, we'll take a shot at help design you some material, set you up some meet and greets. You know, that we do that. We get out on the street for you to help petitioning, which is a key component. Knocking on doors, you know, help coach you to make you more comfortable being in front of a television set, for instance, or on radio. You know, it's really preparation. You know, there's a lot of research involved if you really want to tackle a few specific issues. Like, for instance, if we were going to go and run for House of Delegates now, Gail, what are we going to do? We're going to draw up a couple pieces of legislation. We're going to have the papers in hand and say, here's what we're going to advocate for. We're going to go down there and sponsor this legislation. So we're going to be very specific about, you know, what we're going to go after, and we're going to you know, try to find allies and form alliances with maybe other candidates across the state. And so these are some of the things that really make it an intriguing and fun thing to do. Actually, it's a different world when you're out there and you're pressing your issue, and the press is asking you, why are you doing this? Well, you get a chance to tell them why you're doing this. You know, you get a chance to be the go-to person and tell them everything that's on your mind. Okay. I mean, we've had candidates that have pulled stuff out of the sky, like UFOs. Okay, well, you know, we probably wouldn't usually advocate stuff like that, but we've had it. Yeah. I mean, so the beauty of running in our party is we empower you to be the candidate, and you can run on any issue you want. We recommend that you pick up our 12-word platform. It's easy to use. You know, it's reusable. It's you know, it's punchy, and it covers a lot of good green issues. When you say more trains, less traffic, that has so many other implications. You know, we're talking about the industry aspect, the moving of passengers, reducing pollution, you know, keeping our greenways vibrant, bikeways, boatways, all that is all part of the picture. When we get people thinking about alternate ways to build, then building highways and throwing down more asphalt, you know, that's the beauty of taking that route and being somewhat single issue focused. I mean, there's obviously other issues that we address, but it is useful, and you've done a great service, Gail. I really do want to thank you again for all them years of saying, more trains, less traffic, pounding the desk, taking petition stacks down to the Richmond and showing them that, and I mean, they pay attention when you show the numbers that we've taken down there. That's sort of how we got helped Meredith and others get those rail lines expanded in this state.
Right, and we need to do that again. You're watching Green TV. It's the show dedicated to positive Green New Deal solutions and the independent candidates that advocate for them. And of course, if you decide to run for office as an independent Green, we would like to have you on the show for an interview as a candidate. And we would welcome that. So be sure to contact Joe Oddo for the Independent Green Party at votejoinrun.us.
Correct. 703-338-0200. I'll answer anytime. You know, I have no secretary. And yeah, please run for office, or even stand for office, because, like I said, just getting on the ballot, the press will ask you, "What's your issue? Why are you doing this?" And you get to tell them. You know, so. But if you really get a chance and you want to run for office, then we'll get you out there beating the feet on the pavement, knocking on doors. It'll be fun.
Yes, it will. One of the things that's going to complicate this year a little bit is that because the courts have tossed back the gerrymandering to the lower courts, and so there is a possibility that the boundaries could change.
Again?
Again.
They just did it last year.
Yes, yes.
Oh my God.
So there is a possibility.
This is how they toy with us as candidates. They keep saying, "Oh, well, here, let's move the chart on you. Here you go. Oh, sorry, you're not in this district. Now you're over here." And my district changed just last year, so I have a whole different delegate, same state senator, but it's different delegate. So if I wanted to run, actually it's an easier district for me now because it covers Charlottesville City where I live, but the other one would have been from the edge of Charlottesville all the way to West Virginia, which is how they do that. They see where we live and they draw the line so they make it challenging for us. So yeah, we need to break that cycle of the dominance of the large party.
For sure, for sure. Well, that's about it for today. Joe, do you have anything else that you would like to say to the viewers? We just have a few moments left.
Well, just thanks for all the support over the years and being out there. And if you're stuck in traffic right now or were earlier today, then you can appreciate the value of rail. Just remember, back this toll road that's around the Beltway, we advocated for rail around that Beltway instead of toll road, and we didn't win because of oil, auto, and asphalt.
Well, that's it today, folks. Join us again next time for Green TV. Best of luck.